Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, councillors, members of the public. Welcome to Denby Parish Council Highways and General Purposes Committee, Wednesday the 12th of November, 7:30 at the old school. First of all, we'll go with the apologies on the agenda. Do we have any apologies, Clerk?
Yes, Councillor Betts and Councillor Vickers.
Vickers and Betts, thank you. I noticed that we've got a vacancy there. Is that Martin Selway? So we haven't got any notice from Martin? No? Okay, I'm just curious. So, okay, noted then, right? Okay. Any item 2 then, moving on to declarations of interest. Arising from this agenda, members and officers are invited to declare any relevant interests. Notwithstanding this item, members may subsequently declare an interest at any point during this meeting. Do we have any declarations of interest from anybody for this evening's agenda? No? No? Okay. Thank you. Item 3. Minutes of the previous meeting. To receive and confirm the accuracy of the minutes of the Highway and General Purposes meeting held on the 1st of October. For those of you that are present, we have Councillor Bevan, Clay, Stallard and Vickers. Do we have an okay with the meeting notes from that meeting? All okay with that? Yeah, happy to. Yeah, okay. I'm okay with those. So everyone okay with that? Right, we'll sign and approve those then. Thank you. Thank you, Liz.
That's a copy for you.
Thank you very much indeed. Okay, item 4 then, election of a chair. To elect a chair for the Highways and General Purposes Committee for the remainder of the current municipal year 25-26, following the resignation of Councillor Bevan from the Highways and General Purposes Committee on the 31st of October. Do we have any nominations, proposals for election of chair? Councillor Clay.
I'll be happy to nominate myself to chair for the remainder of the municipal year.
I second. Do we have a... Well, that was very quick. Do we have any other nominations first before you second? Sorry, did you say something, Councillor?
No, I didn't say anything.
No, you're okay. Okay. So we have a nomination for Councillor Clay and we have a second from Barry. Can we have a show of hands for those that are in favour of that? Right. So, Councillor Clay, you are now the chairman of the Highways. Would you like to take up the chairman slot now, or would you like to wait at the end of the meeting?
I'm happy to take it up now, Chair. Thank you.
No problem at all. Take over. I need my coat. No, you're not in my water. Yeah, exactly.
That's a copy for you.
All right, minutes. All right, brilliant. Thank you. Okie dokie. Thank you. Thank you, committee, for the vote. We will move on to the 5th item on the agenda, which is election of vice chair. To elect a vice chair of Highways and General Purposes Committee for the municipal year 2025-2026. I would like to kick this off and nominate Councillor Berry to be a vice chair, unless there is any other nominations.
I accept.
You accept? Okay.
I'll second.
We have Councillor Stallard seconding that proposal. So can I have a show of hands all in favour of Councillor Berry being my vice chair for the rest of the municipal year 25-26?
Yep.
It's unanimous. Thank you, Liz. Thank you, Tony. Okay, lovely. Okay, item 6 on the agenda is Highways and General Purposes Committee Project Report. To receive and review the project report from the committee clerk.
Chair, can we review it now that you're in post?
Absolutely, thank you.
Okay.
Item 7 on the agenda is public participation. The meeting will recess for not more than 15 minutes to allow any members of the public to address the meeting. We have one member this evening. No, I was going to say this would be your opportunity to address council of any questions pertaining to the agenda if you wish to. You have none at all? Okay. So we will close the session as quick as what we did open it. Yeah. Thanks.
Good night, Phil.
Okay, on to item 8 on the agenda is the crossing at Goodman's Field. A member of the public has asked if the parish council will support an application for a crossing for the pedestrians going to Goodman's Field to discuss and determine action. Have you all had a chance to read the member of the public's letter that was sent in to council?
Yes.
Yeah. I'd just like to make aware before any opinions or views, because it's a highways matter, I think personally the best thing to do would be to advise the resident to contact Hampshire Highways, or if not, perhaps the council could do that on their behalf if they're not confident to do so. How does the council feel? Councillor Berry?
Normally, any crossings which are dealt with by Hampshire County Council, they've got to review how many accidents are in a 2-year period. They also got to look at how often it is and the cost of it. And these days it's a hard job to get them to do anything.
Agreed.
So the best thing is to write first to Hampshire County Council and also send it to Patricia Stallard.
Yeah, I'll be happy with that.
Good.
So if council's happy, perhaps we could reply to the resident and carry out exactly what Councillor Berry said. We could conduct those issues for her. At the same time, also, it might be worth, in the reply, noting that there is an island crossing near Parklands. It's a drop curb crossing, because at the latter part of her the letter, she inquires about a crossing. And there actually is one near Parklands.
I think, Chair, I think the point, Hampshire County Council, yeah, and I think County Councillor for Stallard, I think would be the right approach. And then just notify the resident that's what we're doing, and we'll advise them accordingly.
If that's a proposal,
That's the
Councillor Berry?
I was just going to say, when there's a drop curve, you won't put it in several can cross in near the drop curve, because the drop curve is used for people with pushchairs, prams, and disability scooters and wheelchairs.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Is that a
So
proposal?
a proposal.
I second it.
Yeah. Okay, all of show of hands in the, for Councillor Ranger's proposal. Unanimous, thank you. Okay. Item 9 on the agenda is the scrap fly tipping campaign. Robert Young, the fly tipping project assistant at Hampshire County Council, has been in touch regarding a new campaign. He has shared some materials which he has suggested we could use in newsletters and posters to promote the key message, to discuss and determine action. Now, I actually went to a Southern Parishes meeting quite a few months ago, and the main topic there for that session was fly tipping, and they really wanted to promote awareness for the black and yellow posters material that they have. And as such, we don't really promote fly tipping in Denmead. So I think it might be a good idea to respond asking for all or any relevant material for us to use for promoting awareness.
Chair, he
Sorry.
has sent us probably about 4 or 5 posters, but
has he?
I didn't include them in the supporting documents
Okay.
because obviously there was a lot to print and send out.
Right.
But he has sent us documents. So shall I circulate those to the committee?
Yes, please. Do we know whether or not he has any other material that we could use, ID for social media, newsletters?
I think there was quite a mix, so I'll sort it out tomorrow and send it out to the committee if that's okay with you.
I'm happy with that. Councillor Ranger, you had your hand
Yeah,
up.
just one thing. I think in terms of communication, it may be just an ideal opportunity to the next edition of Denmead Scene to put something in there for that.
That's fine, yeah. We could also, it might be worth noting that we could reach out to other third parties, organisation groups in the village to help them also promote awareness. So Neighbourhood Watch, for example, and we can share this information with them. So to bring the community together as a collective for promoting fly tipping and the best measures of reporting it if it's seen. So is that okay, Liz, to
Useful, right?
Yeah. So that's a proposal for me that we do promote newsletters, Facebook, etc. Once we've got a seconder, which is Councillor Ranger. So All in favour of promoting fly tipping using the material supplied by Robert Young? That's unanimous. Happy with it? Thank you. Item 10 on the agenda is the Auto Speedwatch device. To consider who will be the coordinator and validator for the Auto Speedwatch device. Also, costs to be considered to decide whether to continue with the device in the next financial year. To consider and determine action. Councillor Perry?
The APR system which you got up on the lamppost, I've just done a course for Speedwatch, which we're setting up a Speedwatch, new ones, but we're using a handheld gun. And according to the police, the APR systems which are on lampposts are not recognised by the police at the moment. The only APR system that's recognised by the police is the one that stands alongside the members of Speedwatch. So therefore, at the moment, it's a waste of money.
Thank you. Yeah, I agree. Because prior to the change in council this year, Councillor Brown underwent the Speedwatch, and I remember he also had some concerns that the device collecting and capturing the data, we then passed on to the police, and they did little about it. They had no teeth. I think we caught a bus that was untaxed, uninsured cars speeding, and I don't think we ever heard anything back about them following it up. So it is kind of a waste of resources, time, effort from the ground staff to move it, maintain it. Councillor Barry, sorry.
Yes, under the Speedwatch ruling, which we just done on that, they will only accept the ones where it's handwritten, number plate, colour, make, model, and that, and speed at the time. They then, once they catch someone, they send one letter, then second letter, then the third time it's a visit.
Yeah, and that's all time, resources, money. Liz, do you have any updates?
No, I was just going to say that Councillor Betts did send a comment about the Auto Speedwatch.
Okay,
in her
yeah, so
absence.
I can just read that out. So Councillor Betts, as you know, this evening sent in her apologies, but she sent in comments and for Council to consider. I'll just read them out for you, which is item 10, Auto Speedwatch device. I am not in favour of continuing this incentive and am not volunteering to administer. I would need to be convinced of the tangible benefits to change my mind. And that was a comment from Councillor Betts. Councillor Ranger?
So is there a current programme that's currently active that comes to an end at the end of March or end of April?
Yeah,
and
so
it starts again in April, is that right?
So we paid for the device and it runs out, I believe, in April
So we're
2026.
discussing here then, that are we going to renew it after that? Is that the discussion, sorry?
Chair, Councillor Ranger, it isn't currently active because we have nobody administering it.
Gotcha. Okay, I'll just look for clarification,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So do I have a proposal from someone from Council? Councillor Stallard?
I would say that we don't pay for another license for it. Stop using it.
Okay.
Because if the police aren't going to do anything with the data, it's pointless.
I second it.
You second it? So just to summarise your proposal is once the term, the contract ends next April,
Yes. So
we no longer undergo renewing that and we finish the programme.
Yeah.
Okay. Until such time, I will be happy to be the coordinator for the remainder of the municipal year. We had a seconder, which was Councillor Berry. So can I have a show of hands? All in favour of Councillor Stallard's proposal? And that's unanimous. Thank you.
Chair, can I
Yes.
just clarify that we're going to get it taken down following information that we've had before about it not working anyway because of the sunlight on the solar panels, so I'll get the grounds team to take it down.
Correct, yeah. During the normal winter, because of the solar and the batteries, we used to take it down. So
what do we do with it after we've taken it down?
keep it in storage.
Storage, okay.
Yeah,
Fine.
we've done that before. It's
Okay.
normal practice. So
Fine.
council's happy for that.
In a
Yes, we
semi
are.
window, Councillor Ranger. I'm told.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Item 11 on the agenda, Denmead SID programme. Traffic East from Hampshire County Council have advised us that the speed indicator devices which are installed on lamp columns are over the 20 kilogram limit. There are also posts which were installed by the Parish Council which will have to be removed and alternative arrangements found. Traffic East have also requested the Parish Council apply for an S72 licence. A new scheme application fee of £300 will apply for this financial year. Further information in the supporting documents to discuss and determine action. Just briefly, for anyone that doesn't know, an S72 licence is a permit required by law local authority for the installation of SID, AWSs or placements on or near a road. So we would need one of them. Council's views and opinions?
It says for the current, apply for this financial year. I'm assuming that April onwards next year.
Yes, Liz.
Chair,
Yes.
Councillor Ranger, if we decided that we wanted to use them for the rest of the year, it would cost us 300, but if we can go into the next year. But I've mentioned to Councillor Clay today that after the agenda had gone out, I spoke to Traffic East, and they advised us that we should remove the SIDs and the SLRs because we haven't got the licence, and the Parish Council shouldn't have put the posts up to support them. So Sam is going to arrange for them to be taken down tomorrow.
Clear?
Yeah, so they were put up really without asking Highways permission, and they've discovered that, and they've come back to us and said, can you please take them down? Councillor Berry?
How many speed indicators have we got? Because as Chair of Newlands, we have just written to Hampshire County Council to see how many we can put up on the entrances because of our speed watch. And we have to pay a licence. So I think you're going to have to now fork out for the licence as well.
£300.
So
Yeah.
if we go ahead here with this speed watch and that, I recommend we do get a licence speeding law.
Okay, we do have 9 in and around Denmead. We have 9. So the ones that are taken down as well, we would then have to perhaps explore and examine where they could be reinstalled around the village following correct procedure at some point. That's a start.
I just wanted to clarify, so the licence was, so if we paid for a licence now, that would only go up until April and then pay again for a new
It's yearless and annually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So would it be worth taking them all down now, then apply for a licence come April, so then you get a full year instead of only...
Well, I would keep them where, this is my opinion, I would keep them where they are and continue, look at alternative locations to the ones that are coming down, apply for a licence, and also considering that the previous item agenda we just talked about, we're now ceasing, so perhaps that money that we might have spent elsewhere could help fund the licence. Councillor Berry had your hand up. Sorry.
Yes, technically, because they're illegal, anybody being caught speeding in this area can challenge it. So therefore, by taking them down, you're admitting that you have broken the law. So I would advise you to leave them up. Those ones that are on only post, you get permission to put them on the lamp post, or you ask Hampshire County Council where you can put them.
Luckily, these are only the speed indicator ones, so they don't record nothing. They just flash up green, red.
Yeah.
So they are. Yeah, they tell you off, don't they? Then.
Yeah, we got one of those and
Yeah.
we had to have permission.
So,
Liz, yes.
Chair, just thinking, if the S72 licence is going to cover the auto speed watch and the SIDs and SLRs, if we're taking the auto speed watch down anyway because of not having enough daylight, would we be better doing them all together in the next financial year?
Which is what Councillor Stow asked.
which is what...
If you'd like to make that a proposal.
I'll make that proposal that we take them all down and then apply for a licence come next year.
I'll second that.
Councillor Ranger seconds. Do I have a show of hands all in favour of Councillor Stallard's proposal? That's unanimous. Excellent. Thank you. Okay. Item 12 on the agenda, sustainable travel support. We have been approached by Anna Heron, the Sustainable Travel Officer for Winchester, who would like to work with the parish council and the local community to identify travel challenges in the local area. Examples of sustainable travel behaviour change projects are setting up a school bike bus, delivering community events such as bike doctor or bike maintenance training, providing community signage and mapping, running led walks or bike rides, and many other types of projects. Following an initial telephone conversation with the committee clerk, Anna has forwarded a document detailing the proposed format of a sustainable travel workshop. This is included in the supporting documents to be discussed and determine action. Councillor Berry.
The D1, D2 is funded by the 106 agreement. Once that money runs out, we've been told they have to renew some of it, because we've got 2 new schools. One of the schools is not covered by bus service, but our D1, D2 goes in through part of Newlands and does circle out, then comes up to Denmead, but stops at night and doesn't run on a Sunday. So once the 106 money runs out, you are not going to have a bus service the same as us. We are now emailed Patricia Starrett and getting information from her about it. So I suggest that Denmead work with the Clerk and Newlands and Highways to see what we can do about the D1, D2.
That's for the bus service, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because this is why this document comes in, because when it runs out, you're going to have to find some other transport to run into Waterloo and that.
Okay. I'm not sure if that should be yes, Councillor Ranger.
No, I take the point, and I think it's a valid point to leverage off of best practice or whatever's been done from the Newlands. But I also quietly like the idea of community events such as bike doctor or bike maintenance training. I can visualise that going on in the village with all sorts of generations, young, old, fit, not fit. Because I struggle to maintain my kids' bike sometimes, and if I knew someone was in there, then they might have a chance of using it. So there are some parts of this on this travel support that I would definitely like to see made available. And I'm guessing what we're trying to discuss here is how do we go from a paper idea to a physical idea, right?
Well, I was of the mindset that if council is interested in supporting this bike initiative, we contact...
Not just bike though.
Not just bike,
No.
but other...
Yeah.
We contact Anna to ask for further details.
Perhaps invite her to
Perhaps a meeting, or invite her along to yeah. So if council is of the mindset to look into this further, we could do exactly
I
that.
propose that we look into it further then.
Fine.
I said it.
Okay, we've got a proposal and a second. Can I have a show of hands all in favour? Thank you. Unanimous, thank you.
Seems like a good idea. Good.
Thank you also to Councillor Berry for the comments. It might be worth bringing that back and talking to neighbouring parishes like Newlands to see what they're doing. So we could perhaps bring that back in a future agenda item to explore.
Put it on to next Highways agenda.
Yeah.
And then we could talk to you about it. I've got Highways tomorrow night for church here, so I can work on it as well.
Okay. Let's put that down there. For that one.
Because it seems over the last few years, Newlands hasn't been working with Denby haven't been working with Newlands because of certain...
Right, so we can help try and build that.
So
Okay.
need to work together.
Makes sense.
Okay.
No.
Okay, continue the agenda. Item 13 is the bus shelter grant scheme. Hampshire County Council has been allocated funding through the Department of Transport's Bus Services Improvement Plan, BSIP, bus grant. A portion of this funding has been designated to contribute towards the cost of replacing and refurbishing bus shelters for eligible parish councils to discuss and determine action. My opinion is that we go for this. We go for a grant, we apply for something to help maintain bus shelters if they get damaged, vandalised or improvements. Councillor Stannard?
Councillor Ranger.
First of all, do we know how many bus shelters we have, and of if whatever the number is, do we actually manage and maintain those ourselves today, or are they maintained by somebody else?
Liz, yes.
Chair, Councillor Ranger, I think we have 22. The reason I say that is because Ian Gransman and I went out last January and put all the notices in for the dates of the meetings. We do have a contractor who cleans them.
Do we own the 22?
Yes.
Wow. Mm-hmm. So the grant, though, would be for us to continue to maintain them, correct?
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Councillor Berry?
No,
Oh, sorry, Councillor Stannard.
No,
No, I was just going to say that I think we should apply for it because I would like to possibly, depending on what costs are, and obviously it's only 15,000, is to sort of get rid of the horrible plasticky green ones and possibly look at wooden ones like we've got by Glasspole. So it's more rural and rustic. That in keeps with their need instead of just...
That would only work where applicable, so if they encroach onto pavements or highway, you wouldn't be able to do that.
But you could possibly get them designed that way. So, for example, the one at the end of Maple Drive, because it's on a pathway, you could have it designed that you've got the wood at the front, but you've got no sides to it.
Yeah, you can
so
have
you have the wood at the
half-hollows.
front and the roof.
We could look
It's
at alter
similar
when it
to
comes to time of
it's-
replacing. You
it's
could look at
cost.
Yeah.
But it would be nice to see more wooden ones.
something
Keep the
to
rules
consider.
down.
Councillor Berry?
I go back to Newlands where we're looking at bus shelters. We're looking at environmental friendly ones where the top of it you can plant, you can put grass and that, which then helps wildlife, butterflies, bees, etc. And these are coming in quite a way. So the parish council here should be looking at environmental friendly bus stops.
And maybe with solar panels. You could charge your phone while you're waiting for your bus.
Well,
Sorry, just joking. Sorry.
if council's happy, I'm happy to propose that we go ahead with the grant, see if we get it, and if we do, then that will help fund future
I think it's a good job.
bus shelter projects, and we can address things like this
Absolutely.
at a time when or if they need replacing at that time. So my proposal
was considered in the budget, was it? No.
So that's my proposal, is that we go ahead and apply for the grant.
Oh,
Yeah?
right.
Okay. Show of hands, all in favour?
Yeah.
Unanimous, thank you.
Yep.
Okay. Item 14 on the agenda is to review the planter sponsorship fees and working party to decide whether the sponsorship fees should be increased for 2026 following discussion at the last committee meeting. A working party is being considered for the planters. The parish council insurance will cover the working party, but members of the public would need to be supervised to discuss and determine action. So the first thing is to decide whether the sponsorship fees should be increased for 2026. So looking at the table at the moment, our bigger planters, the larger ones, are currently 385 plus VAT, which is 20%, which brings it to 462. Our smaller ones are 165 plus VAT, which will then bring that to a total of 198 if somebody wanted to go for a year's sponsorship. I've done some quick calculations for my view. If we were to go up with the index of 3.8, for the bigger ones, which are 385 to start with, the increase would be £14.63, bringing it to a total of £399.63, plus the 20% VAT, would make the larger planters, following the 3.8 index increase, £479.56 for the year. If you were to carry the 3.8 percentage for the smaller planters, it will become £205.52, an increase of £6.26. That's my opinion, if we were to increase our planters following an index. Other views? Councillor Ranger?
When was the last increase?
Liz, do we have any information on that at
I'm
all?
not sure, Councillor Ranger.
And the reason, sorry.
I was just going to say because the fees had already been set.
Right. My feedback and comments would be, irrespective of when the last increase was, my thoughts were that I think we should leave the costs as they are.
Okay.
And I say that because I don't think the council have done a great job of maintaining all the planters in the best possible way in the last 12 months, in my opinion. And we've already had some feedback, certainly from 2 of those sponsors, that they were thinking of ending their sponsorship because we hadn't done a very good job, which is one of the reasons we were thinking of doing the working party to G up a few things to make it look a bit tidier. Right? I think it might be a little cheeky for the sake of a few pounds, because it is not a lot of money from a 3 point whatever increase. I think in the spirit of everything, I would I would suggest that we keep the prices as they are for this year, because I would like to see more planters sponsored, and at the moment we've only got 5, of which 2 of those companies are not very happy with what they paid for to see what they've got. That would be my comments.
Okay. Did you make a proposal?
No.
You
I'm
haven't?
just putting comments out at the moment.
Any other comments at all, Councillor Berry?
Yes, your planters, I think it was last year or the year before, I criticised because they don't fertilise them, they don't change the soil on them, the pH of the soils is incorrect, so that the actual beds need new soil in them. So these people are paying out for them, and that I can see where they're coming from. And also they need really tidying up, painting or staining on them. So I think we ought to have a working party to look at them properly, do a proper breakdown of what needs to be done to them, and leave, as I go along with Councillor Ranger and say we leave the price as it is, and notify all these people that the working party is going to be looking at it. That proposal.
Absolutely. Do we have a seconder for Councillor Berry's proposal, or any other?
Could I just mention, Chair, that after the last meeting, when we talked about what the sponsors were actually getting for their money, I did speak to our head groundsman, and he told me that he was advised that in the past there's been no money to spend on the planters and the roundabouts. That's why. But I mean, I'm sure that you've all seen the one as you come into Dunmead. That's the estate agents, Pearson's, and also the Dunmead Garage Services one by the Green. They've done it. Sam's done a lot of work on those, and he's planted up with pansies and cyclamen, and they're looking a lot better. So
comments accordingly.
yeah.
Someone told me there's a lot of work done to them.
Yeah, he's done it. I just wanted to be noted that he's done a good job on that.
Good. Okay. If we can thank Sam, that would be great. Do we have any other further comments or debates? If not, Councillor Berry has made a proposal. Can you just summarise that proposal again once more, Councillor Berry?
Right. We leave the fees as they are. We get a working party to work with the head groundsman to look at refurbishing them, redoing the soil, doing the pH on them, and then looking and doing a spreadsheet of what type of plants to go in there, what type of carpet bedding, if carpet bedding, whether summer, winter, and that, and generally have a plan on them.
Okay, that would fall to the working party. Okay. Okay.
I'll sort of second that slide.
Councillor Ranger seconds. So can I have a show of hands all in favour of Councillor Berry's proposal? So the working party would have to go to full council to create, is that Councillor Berry.
I think at full council you need to put it on the agenda for the working party.
Yeah.
But I think that working party should include members of the public.
That's what we discussed last time. Isn't
Yes, I think we've covered by the insurance. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Thank you. Item 15 on the agenda. Letters to Heaven Postbox. To receive a report from Councillor Clay and Councillor Stallard regarding Letters to Heaven Postbox. To discuss and determine action. Councillor Stallard, do you want to say anything?
Has everyone read the document I
Yeah.
submitted? So you've got a brief background of what it is, which I think it is a very good initiative to have letterbox for people to post letters for their loved ones, which will then eventually turn into compost and obviously go back into the graveyard.
Do we say a bit more?
I'll leave you.
Okay, so yeah, a Letters to Heaven. So me and Councillor Stallard looked into ways of how we could improve the graveyard and how people interact with our burial
Especially
grounds.
how our reputation
Yeah.
has been.
So we visited certain graveyards or cemeteries in the local area. We went to the Oaks. We visited several more just outside of our area, and they already have these letters for postbox to Letters to Heaven postboxes. And just give you an introduction, I'm sure you already read it. And Letters to Heaven postbox is a memorial incentive where people can write and post letters, cards, and messages to deceased loved ones. The letters, which are not read or opened, are collected, shredded, and or composted, with the resulting compost being used to nourish the grounds of the cemetery. The concept aims to provide a way to express thoughts and feelings of grief and to offer comfort during special occasions like birthdays and holidays. How it would work: 1, you would write a message. Anyone can write a letter, card, or draw a picture for a lost loved one as a way to express feelings, birthdays, anniversaries, or holiday messages. 2, the post letter. Place the message in the specially installed postbox at the cemetery. Number 3 would be the collection. Letters would be collected monthly, for example, by the cemetery staff or volunteers. And then 4, processing. The letters are respectfully shredded and would be then composted and returned to the cemetery ground as a lasting tribute. Can I have thoughts, comments? Councillor Berry.
Under the Data Protection Act, who you will have to have a responsible person to collect them, record how many letters, postcards, etc. Then, of course, then that person will have to be in charge of shredding, which will then have to have a certificate of shredding, then a list of where they've been composted. Sorry.
If council are of the mindset to go ahead with this, I would obviously communicate with Liz and ask Liz if she would be willing to undergo such a process of collecting the letters. I think it would be pertinent to have a member of our staffing team trained, obtain certificates or whatever is needed in order to do that, if council is happy to go ahead. Councillor Ranger first and Councillor Berry.
In principle, I'm okay with this. However, I would like to get some feedback from A, Emma Vicar, and or B, South Downs and or the funeral care homes, because they have a lot of experience of that. If their general consensus is, hey, tick in the box, this is great, absolutely would support that for our burial ground. I'm very in favour. If for some reason they come up with a reason as to, because it does A, B and C, or I don't know what it could be, but I would like to get their feedback. If that's all okay, I'm all for it.
Okay. Any other further comments? Councillor Berry was next, sorry.
Yeah, I'm going to put my head on it again. Can you tell me why the policy for covering this in Data Protection? Your Data Protection Act policy and your nobody policy for covering people doing this type of work, and also the risk assessment.
Yes.
Chair, could I liaise with you and Councillor Stallard and maybe contact cemeteries or burial grounds that are already doing
To
this?
find out what they did in order to get them installed, the process they underwent.
Yes.
In the meantime, perhaps we could also then speak to Emma and Paul just to get their opinion.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
I'd happily turn that into a proposal.
I second.
Yeah, so Councillor Berry seconds. So just to summarise then, for Liz to go away and communicate with cemeteries and burial grounds that already have these in place to find out terms and conditions they may have, the needs required for us to get one, and also speak to Emma and or Paul for their opinion or input
Opinion.
to then come
I
back
think
to the
their
next.
opinion will be valuable.
Yeah, to then bring that back to the next committee meeting. So can I have a show of hands all in favour of that proposal? Unanimous, thank you. Thank you for your input, Liz. Lovely. Super. Item 16, pedestrian bridge, River End to Old River. We were advised by the Environmental Agency that whilst we were not interested, we would report to Hampshire County Council in their role as lead local flood authority to find out if we would need an ordinary watercourse consent for works. We are still awaiting for their response.
Chair, can I
Yes,
just mention
you
that
can.
there has been a big delay on this due to the bank mandates. They sent us the bill and we couldn't pay it, and they wouldn't start the process until it had been paid. So they are processing it
It's
now.
ongoing
So we
then for
hope
the
to
mo-
hear
yeah.
before the end of the
Okay.
year.
So we just note that.
Yeah.
Thank you, Liz.
Thank you.
Okay, on to item 17, Safer Neighbourhood Meeting. The Safer Neighbourhood Panel meeting was held on Thursday the 23rd of October 2025. The next meeting will take place on Thursday the 23rd of April 2026, just to note. Thank you. Councillor Berry, yes, of course.
On Thursdays, I like to attend some of these because I do a lot of this. Thursdays it's Newlands Parish Council. So I'll have to put my apologies in.
Thank you. Okay. Perhaps we could, Councillor Angel?
We, at the last meeting, we decided that we would do one more shot to see whether the feedback was positive,
Correct.
etc. I'm guessing, assuming, because I was there as well, that because we've got a date for the next meeting, we've made an assumption, maybe rightly so, that we are going to continue with the Safer Neighbourhood Panel meeting.
No, that can still be considered, perhaps.
I
Yeah.
don't know whether a decision had been made to say let's continue or let's stop or
Yeah.
so. I thought the idea was to have one more and see what it went. Personally, from my perspective, I know I was chairing it for the first time. I thought it was actually quite useful, even though we had very, very, very few representations from the public. We had more guests than anything else. It was still informative with the different people there. So on that basis alone, and the good turnout that we had from the guest speakers, including Suella Braverman and county councillors, I'm okay with it to continue. But I just wanted to make that note that the assumption is that I thought it was one more shot to see how it went. But just putting it out there, that's all.
Okay. Perhaps we could add that to the next agenda then, just to confirm following discussions at this meeting, that we bring it next time to
continue.
ratify.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To continue.
Yeah.
That's all.
Okay, let's make it an item agenda and then we bring it back. That's fine.
Thank you.
But no, you're right. We did have quite a few attendees. Most I've seen.
Yeah, and the two residents were from Harrogate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll do that. Thank you. Okay. Item 18 on the agenda is the Christmas time. Festival trees and lighting. The Christmas trees have been ordered. New lights for the village green have been ordered. The committee clerk is liaising with the contractor to put up the trees, lights above the shops in the village centre. To note, but Liz, do you have any input, any updates following today?
Chair, I thought when I did the agenda that the lights for the village green had been ordered, but they haven't yet. This is what we're proposing, but I've mentioned to Councillor Clay earlier that it's 4 foot, which is just over 13 foot, so it isn't as tall as the the mast that's there now, but I believe that the lights were vandalised.
So it hasn't been ordered yet.
No.
What's the time frame for delivery?
Well, we were going to order it before the end of the week, if everybody's happy with it.
And
But
time
it-
frame to when it arrive if we ordered it this week?
Well, they don't send them out until 6 weeks before, so we're round about right.
Okay.
Okay.
Councillor Berry has your hand up. So.
Yes. When was the last time a risk assessment and the policies were looked at for putting Christmas trees up on buildings and that?
Liz, thank you.
Councillor Berry, our guys are not putting the trees and lights up on the shops.
Contractor.
We've got a contractor to do that.
Yep.
Have you seen their risk assessment and policies?
We haven't actually agreed anything with him yet. We're just liaising with him at the moment. He has done it in the past.
You still have to see their risk assessment and insurance documents, etc. Sorry to be a pain.
No,
Yeah.
that's fine.
No, that is a
You
good
could
point.
ask
Something
them
goes
to
wrong.
follow the advice,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think it's only protecting council, and that's fine. But just for a nod, then, are people happy with what they see?
I like the idea of colour versus white for a change.
We need more colour.
And it's sorry, how 13 foot.
Mm. So it's not quite as tall as a park flag.
Two of you and a bit more.
Two and a bit.
Two of you and a bit
And we're
more.
also
Are we-
supplying coloured lights to the shops, correct?
Councillor Ranger, Chair,
Yeah.
unfortunately it looks as though we're going to have white lights. It's been really difficult to source lights that are battery powered with big batteries, that have timers on them and aren't too, long, really long. And the only ones that we've been able to source, we can have warm white or cool white.
That's a shame.
It is a shame. The lights, we have lights that we can use for the tree that goes outside Barnard's.
Uh-huh.
That tree's been ordered
Which
as
is
well.
coloured.
No, they're
White. So
yeah.
the only coloured lights we're going to have are the main
on the
ones.
green. Yeah.
Okay. That's
It is disappointing, but they are really, really hard to source for the tree, the lights.
we
above
just
the
need to get
tree.
it ordered this week then.
Next year, maybe, for them. Yeah.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everyone happy with
Yeah.
yeah?
No, thank you for the update, Liz.
Yeah, thank you for your hard work on that, Liz, and sourcing. Thank you. Okay, on to item 19, Finial Post at Forest Gate. To note, the new Finial Post at Forest Gate has been erected. That is to note. Just to ask, Liz, are they all now complete? Is that all of our
Yes.
Finial rings? Yeah.
Yes.
Councillor Ranger?
So I think that would make a great cover for DMEC.
Actually, we've done it before, haven't we?
Yeah, we
Councillor Stallard, we've taken photographs of Finial rings and put them in our newsletters for groups,
Well, I think that as
organisations.
a cover page,
Yeah,
maybe not for
absolutely.
the next one because it's Christmas, but I think the fact is to sell, I mean, that's an article in itself, in my opinion. The fact is that we refurbished all of them, and that's Denmead in a team, I think, personally, but that's my thoughts.
I think they add to the village feel,
Yes,
the village
agreed.
element.
It's a nice job
It was a
done.
very good project, and I'd just like to note, really, great thanks to Councillor Langford Smith for undertaking Finial rings. I think she did a very good job. Now that they're all complete, so we could note that if you don't mind.
It's good,
Liz.
good call, good idea.
Yeah, it's good. It makes us our
Maybe
village
consider
looks.
it for the next
looks nice.
next edition of some cons, but
Sure.
or indeed our parish, even our website.
It helps
In
protect
fact, we
our
can.
heritage.
Yes, it's that
Because
village
it's
feel.
it's part of our heritage.
Neat and tidy. So I'm going to put that there. So I'll talk about that.
Good.
Thank you. Lovely. Item 20 on the agenda now is the memorial on the village green. The error on the memorial plaque on the village green has been amended to correctly display the name Roland Broughton to notes.
Yeah, looks good.
It does look good.
Yeah, good.
Thank you. And just in time for remembrance, that was very good. Okay, item 21, the burial ground. 21.1, applications. To note the list of applications since the last committee meeting. We've all seen the latest ones. Thank you. Oh, okay, it's just to note, but if I'd be more happy for mine. Okay, that is to note. So we move on to 21.2, review of the burial ground regulations. A review of the type of images allowed on memorials at the other cemeteries have been undertaken. Information was emailed to the committee on the 8th of October for comments. No comments or suggestions have been received to discuss and determine action. So, have we all had a chance to read our regulations? Any comments? Councillor Stallard?
I'll start it off.
Go on then.
I have gone through it and I looked at all the bits that were going to be highlighted red, which I believe is what people have sort of queried in the past.
Yes.
So 10.3 that obviously was highlighted. Obviously, I would say that would stay the same because of glass in China. If it gets broken. So that
Okay.
one. 10.6, if we're allowing silk flowers, I would say that we allow plastic artificial flowers, but we put a clause in that if they do deteriorate and become unsightly, the ground staff remove them.
Okay.
11.4, permitted materials less than images on headstones or crosses. We currently say no photographic images are permitted, but I would say we go down the route that we do allow it, but it's the same for, what was it? Same for carvings and images. So we
Okay.
do allow it, but they have to obviously get written consent.
Fine. So it comes to us
Yeah,
first
so
to
we get
approve that they
final
are
say
allowed
on a
photos.
photo of their relative. Yeah.
Okay,
so
that's
we-
fine. Is that the same for further down?
11.11, same for that one, so that would then obviously come out for that, and I think that was it. I was happy with everything else, and it was only really what was highlighted in the red.
Okay, thank you for those comments. Do anyone else have any suggestions or further input? Councillor
I'm
Ranger?
not sure that it fits into here, and it may even be a particular item on the agenda further down, but I think there needs to be a little bit more rigour, excuse the term, in terms of the layout of the various plots, because it's all a little bit messy, higgledy-piggledy in my opinion, and they're not all in line. When Liz and I were there on footpath duty recently, it was quite clear with one of the reps from Southdown, and even Paul at Southdown was quite surprised at how not quite in line, and you've got different ones here and different ones there, and what do we do here? So I think we do need to pay attention to that, and I'm not sure whether it comes out further on the agenda, which I think it does, so I'm not sure whether it's covered under the burial ground regulations and services, but we need to make sure that if we're going to update the regulations, then those regulations need to be aligned to the physical site. I'm not making myself very clear, I apologise, but I think, Liz, you've got an idea of what I'm trying to say, right?
Yes, Chair, Councillor
Yes.
Manager, I think that the ones that were particularly out of line were the ones to the right of the path, weren't they? And I think probably I think the ones to the left of the path are the newer ones, and they are probably better
Yeah,
aligned, aren't they?
agreed.
So I think it is probably a historic thing.
So going forward, when we look at the regulations and services going forward, we need to make sure that any new plots or any new stones or graves are aligned to the right-hand side, sorry, the left-hand side, not the right-hand side, basically. That's what I'm trying to say.
Like a plot plan or cemetery plan to follow
Yeah,
to make
I
it.
think that's a,
Well, we do have a plan, but I think, shall we come on to it in the next?
yeah, I'm happy to hold the thought until
Okay.
we come on to the next item, but I just want to put it out, sorry.
Okay, so do we have any more sorry, Liz?
Chair, can I just check with Councillor Stallard? Can you just say again, please, what you said about the glass, china, plastic, etc.?
That one I would keep in because obviously health and safety, you don't really want glass or anything if it gets broken, so I'll keep that in that they're prohibited.
Groundsman cut the grass, etc. Then it can't be
Yeah.
composted if there's bits in there.
If it's
Okay,
glass,
fine.
yeah, I'll keep that one in as prohibited.
Yes, Councillor Snowden.
Yeah, when I walked up to the cemetery to look at the park, I noticed that there are conflicting dog signs. So it is a regulation, but it's not in here. There are a couple of signs that says dogs must be kept on a lead, and then there are another couple of signs saying that dogs are not allowed.
Chair, can I just...
Of course, yes, I
update?
know. Yes, go on, give us an update.
You won't be aware, but at a previous meeting we have agreed that we're going to put new signage up. But unfortunately, I've been a bit busy and
That's
I haven't.
fine.
But I will be sorting that out very soon.
So the new signs are in.
It's been agreed.
They've been agreed, so there'll be
I can't wait to see
soon.
it once they're done.
Perhaps a Christmas present. Who knows? Who knows for the cemetery? So as for the regulations themselves in print, do we have any other comments, amendments, or are we happy with perhaps what Councillor Stallard has so far suggested? So would Councillor Stallard like to make his
Yeah, I'll make
amendments into a proposal that we adopt them?
Yeah.
Those changes
Yeah, that we adopt the changes that I said.
that you've already mentioned. Liz, are you happy that you've got all?
Yeah.
Okay, so we've had a proposal. We've had a seconder from Councillor Berry. Do we have a show in hands that we adopt the changes? And that is unanimous. Thank you. Okay, brilliant. Okay, on to 21.3, deterioration of path surface in the north field of the burial ground. We have now received 4 quotes for replacement of the burial ground pathway. A decision is required on how to proceed. So this is to discuss and determine action. So you've all received the 4 quotations. Councillor Snellgaff,
I did receive.
you are aware of them. If not, there is a copy here to hand. So we've got the copies. I know Councillor Ranger and Liz have been heavily involved in this process, leading us to here. So Councillor Ranger, are you happy to brief council?
First
Are you
of all,
happy to take this?
we've got to do something pretty quickly, I think, because the path is in terrible condition, and we've had a resident that's had a fall and hurt herself a few months ago, actually. So it needs to be done. Obviously, the weather may be against us if we do something sooner rather than later. Also, the path itself that needs to be done is currently tarmac on concrete, whereas the other ones are shingle on a mesh. So one thought we originally had was that we have another shingle path to make all 3 shingle paths the same. Having said that, the existing shingle paths are a lot narrower than the current path that is actually damaged. There's no requirement of width for a path, believe it or not, and we did check that with South Downs as well as Emma as well, in terms of do we need to have access for wheelchairs, for example, and there's no requirement to have anything for a wheelchair or indeed a mobility scooter, which I was surprised by, but they did comment that you don't have to do that. Having said that, we then went off and got the quotations, as you can see, and they vary a lot. The 2 companies, Bentley Construction, who are our normal preferred pathway provider, and Oakencraft, who have already done previous work for the council, the 4th quote, they are known to Denmead Parish Council. Tarmac was a very remote, I think they were from Birmingham, if I remember rightly. Reading, I beg your pardon, Reading, of course, Reading, and they came down. I personally wasn't very comfortable with the way that they conducted their survey, and the 4th and final quote is from Skeens and Wallace, which is a local Denby company, and the only comment I would make about Skeens and Wallace is that they actually, or Peter Skeens, who's the part owner of the company, live in the vicarage, and his garden backs onto the pathway, and that's what I know. I think all 3 could do a good job. I say all 3. I'm assuming that we will remove the tarmac one, because it is just not, it doesn't feel right, and it's just too out of bounds from everything other quotation wise. So the question on the table is Bentley, Skeens or Oakencraft, and that would be the and I think all 3 could do a pretty good job. Those prices include VAT. We would be eligible to get the VAT back, so that's something. But yeah, that's the update I would share, really.
Okay. Councillor Barry?
What's the guarantee on the work? What type of guarantee is it, and how long for?
Good question. Without going into the writing of the original quotes, because I haven't seen this specifically, I believe each of the companies would do at least a 2-year guarantee. Now,
That's the other thing, but it needs to come
sorry,
to...
let me just finish.
Sorry.
It does depend when they start, because if they start in the middle of the winter and it goes into minus 20 degrees, for example, in heavy frost, so it's a lot of it is weather dependent as to when they can get everything in, right? I think we can put whatever guarantee we want. We could ask for a period of time that would be reasonable for a part. They're not going to walk away in 3 months, but they would walk away after 5 years. So we need something in between, I think. That would be my, yeah?
But the thing being is, before you say yes, go ahead with the work, you always need to know the guarantees on how their work, how long they're willing to do any updates or damage to it and stuff like that.
Maintenance, you mean?
Maintenance, yes.
Yeah.
So, could we ask Liz if she could check first before we agree?
I understand the reasons for asking the question. I would not be comfortable leaving it for another set of council meetings to go to get the responses of the guarantees and then come back again. This has been, somebody broke a bone or Bradley sprained an ankle, or beg your pardon, back in the summer. And at the moment the path's roped off, so you physically can't use it to get to the graves that you want to go to, or indeed through the path. The fact is we're now in the middle of November and we've only just finally got the last of the 4 quotes. If we delay, well, this is my thinking, if we delay and go back and ask for, please could you put your guarantees in writing to each of these 4 quotes, and then bring it back and then we make the decision, then I think that just drags it on even further. Having said that, if a decision was made on one of these, on the basis that we're happy to go with item 1 or item 4, providing you put a guarantee of X on it, I think that would be a better way of doing it personally, is my opinion. But then
Any more inputs at all from Councillor Berry and Councillor Snellgrove?
Can I make a suggestion then? In future, when we go out for quotes, we get a maintenance and guarantee, please.
Yes.
that's a
Yep,
good,
that
that's
is
a good
it,
learning
yeah.
curve, yeah.
Sorry.
No, don't be sorry, please.
No.
When I walked up there and looked at the path, I was concerned about the environmental impact, having all of that dug up. Is there any way that it can be repaired? No.
No, it's too far gone.
Yeah,
And it's
it's-
subsidence. And we did want it repaired. Absolutely, that was our first choice. But each of the companies, in fact 3 of the 4, said they couldn't be repaired, and you'd have to start again. Which is, I think the company Tarmac were willing to do a repair using some of the existing edging stones, which would look out. So we wanted it to be repaired, Councillor Snellgrove, but it was not. Feasible.
The land is not very well manageable
No.
because of where it is, where it sits.
Yeah.
So that was part. Councillor Berry.
Is this subsidence due to flooding, clay type of soil, or what?
Councillor Ranger, I think you had discussed
Well,
this.
it's both,
It's-
and also poor digging of the original graves. I mean, we've had people that have done the wrong size graves at the wrong places. I mean, too close to the pathway. So, and we've changed the grave digger now. I think, in fact, one of them, Bentley, are the people that actually dig the graves now. So we fixed that problem by using a different contractor, if that makes sense. But some of the problem is historical, that they were using it, the wrong tools and not the right depth and not shoring up and the scalpings or whatever else.
Councillor Berry.
Because as Martin knows from years ago, when I did the risk assessment and the walk over there, I picked a lot of stuff up there, and it wasn't done when I suggested it.
Okay. Perhaps you should have been on the graveyard path committee then.
Right.
Right.
Where are we?
Yeah. I mean, Liz, sorry, is there anything you want to add to that? I mean, you've been to most of the meetings with himself, right? So nothing I've missed, right?
Chair, Councillor
Of
Ranger,
course.
you're right in saying that a lot of it is weather dependent, and when I met Tim Rogers from Oakencroft over there, he did say that, you know, if it was extreme cold or rain or anything, he was asking about the timescale. I agree that we do need to get it done. I first reported it in June and it has deteriorated a lot since then. I mean, by August it had deteriorated even further, so it is really important that we move ahead with this.
And we have the funds
We do have the
We
funds.
do, yes, we do.
allocated for
Okay.
this year.
May I have a proposal, please? Councillor Stallard?
I would propose that we go with Oakencroft Limited.
Okay.
Can I put an amendment on that?
Councillor Berry?
That when we do the letter to him, as Councillor Ranger said, we ask for the guarantee and maintenance on it.
And if he comes back and says no guarantee, what do we do?
Then you look at someone else. Because we're leaving ourselves wide open.
I agree and I get it, and I think we do need some form of guarantee. I just don't know what a guarantee in a footpath is in terms of
Right,
physical.
the guarantee is guarantee on the standard of work they do and the reliability of the type of engineering they will use.
Sorry.
Councillor
I'll
Stallard?
withdraw my proposal.
Right.
If you...
Councillor Stallard has withdrawn his proposal. Do I have a new proposal?
I propose then that we go with the preferred bidder, and which is I haven't got sheet of paper, I'm sorry.
That's right. Open cross, I think.
Which one was it?
The bottom one, that was the one that Councillor
Stallard, yes.
Open Cross. Yeah, we'll go with Open Cross, and we ask for their maintenance and guarantee on it.
Do we have a seconder at all?
I'll second
Councillor
that.
Stallard does. Seconder. So the proposal is that we go back to Oakencroft, in principle, to approve the works and also request further details on the warranty that comes with the works that they supply. Okay, can I have a show of hands all in favour of the proposal? Good. Right, thank you. That's good. Right. Okay, item 21.4. Additional cremation plots at the burial ground. Councillor Ranger and the committee clerk met with Paula Baptiste from South Downs Funeral Services to discuss the need for additional cremation plots. Report from the supporting documents to discuss and determine action. So the supporting document provided. Councillor Ranger and the committee clerk met with Paula Baptiste from South Downs Funeral Services on the 17th of November to discuss the need for additional cremation plots in the North Field. There is room for additional 22 cremation plots to the left-hand side of the North Field between existing cremation plots and the first row of headstones. They would be a continuation of the plots on the right of the path. Have you got a copy? Okay, share, if you can share Councillor Stallard's. So, yeah, I put a little star.
Yeah.
Says okay. So for the picture, if you look at the supporting document picture, if it was to go ahead, the cremation plots would just be adjacent, so it would look symmetrical. Everything would run in line. In my opinion, I reckon that would look neat and tidy. And we discussed a few moments ago about how we want to try and keep things looking neat and tidy. Councillor Berry?
Councillor Ranger was trying to think of uniformity, the same as we do
Good word.
for
Good word.
the Navy and that under the War Graves Commission, where they have to be at a certain angle, certain type, and that. A lot of the headstones when up in the graveyard, what happens is when the memorial people come in, they do not put a rope down, they just try and judge it and they put it in because of the footings and stuff like that. And that's where they come out to uniformity.
Okay. Do we have any other comments or input at all?
I propose that we,
Not, I'm happy to make a proposal. Sorry, Councillor Ranger, are you,
No,
are you
I was
happy?
going to say the same, but you
Yep.
beat me to it.
So I'm happy to make a proposal that we go ahead with the continuation of the plots to the left-hand side of Northfield, so they are all kind of symmetrical. And perhaps then, once they are done, we could look at an alternative, because Paul the Baptist suggested perhaps that there are other locations in this burial ground, perhaps near the hedge, that we could look at in the future. But for now, I'm happy to put them
Agreed.
as the supporting
I second
document suggested. So a second from Councillor Ranger. Do I have a show of hands? All in favour? Thank
You're
you.
waiting for me to say something. No,
Well,
you
this
just,
is-
you just got to
thank you.
make sure
The
that,
risk assessment.
now you just got to make sure that uniformity is in place.
Right, we will. Okay. Right, item 22, social media. To discuss and determine action on what content could be added to the Parish Council's social media channels. Councillors, what could we add? Councillor Berry, then Councillor Stallard.
What we've discussed tonight, especially with the footpath and the graveyard, that I think should be in there as well. And the rest of it, talking about Christmas lights and stuff like that.
Okay, so we could we could put a post.
Everything we've discussed should go in there.
So that the paths getting repaired, Christmas lights, letters to heaven post box. Perhaps we could get some feed.
Early, perhaps.
Okay.
The finials, maybe.
Finials, yes, finials.
I mean, that's done.
Yes, that
Whereas
is.
the post box, I think we're still waiting to get
In
some
fact,
feedback from others.
That's why I kept that out actually, because I was going to say, can we use that image perhaps, Liz, and put that on, and then we can put a small little paragraph saying that our finial rings have all been completed. A special thanks to Councillor Langford Smith for all her hard work and her project for bringing us this far with the finial rings. Anyone else? So we've got the finial ring, got the burial ground. No, that's the start.
I was just going to say about the burial ground regulations, so just to inform people that they've been updated
Yep.
and possibly put a link into
Be happy for that.
Goodness, good idea.
so they-
Happy for that.
I'm guessing. Sorry, so on the social media.
Councillor Ranger.
I'm guessing that. Do we want to do anything about the sustainable travel thing? Because I think that's a positive in terms of messaging. The fact is that we are entertaining a meeting with Anna Heron or a meeting or a presentation or whatever. Therefore, encouraging ideas. I'm just thinking out loud in terms of how do we get residents as well as people to get involved with sustainable travel ahead of Anna Heron coming in doing whatever she's going to do whenever she's going to do it. That's what I was referring to.
Okay.
So on the social side, I think that would be quite a positive.
Just to get an idea of who might be interested
Yeah,
at this stage
That's
while we
exactly
don't.
what it would be. It's not to say
Fine.
we've done it. It's not to say this is what you're going to have. It's that we're exploring and we would like to get your feedback. It's that I think Councillor Snellgrove made a comment at a previous meeting about involving other residents. I think this would be another good example of how we can get feedback early on about how the sustainable stuff would work, or could work, sorry. That's all.
Happy? Okay. Any other items, or are we happy to move on? Happy to move on? Okay. Item 23 is matters for the next agenda. To receive any matters for the next agenda. Councillor Berry.
Can I ask why we don't do a poppy flow?
Don't do what, sorry?
Poppy flow, which is a netting with all poppies over. We at Newlands,
I'm agreed.
Yeah.
haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Drive past it, and I don't.
Oh no.
It was made by the Niche and Bitch people or whatever.
Oh, because we're looking at one from the church.
Oh, no, it's made by the Nitcham Beach.
Yeah, so,
We have one.
all right.
Oh, it's very nice.
Yeah.
It's very good. Some comments.
It's dark when I come up.
Yeah. I might be in it.
Fine,
No, we have one though.
All right, that's all right.
And there's a very big one on the DCC building.
All right.
I've got a couple of items. I'd like to add the Rookwood Reserve for the next agenda to explore the possibility of. We had this on the agenda once before, so I want to revisit the Rookwood Reserve.
Is this for scattering or is this for
Yes.
opening up to public? Okay.
Yes,
Right,
so
okay.
I'm happy to bring that back.
Yeah.
Also, the Letters to Heaven post box. And also, I believe we should really bring back our terms of reference. I think they were last updated November 2022, Liz?
No, Chair, I think I'm pretty sure we've done it this
Oh,
year,
okay.
but I'll check that.
If you can check that,
Yeah.
if they are very outdated, then we will need to bring them back. But
I'm
they
pretty
should
sure
be
we've done them
be
this year.
annually, really. I think they should be done in May, around that time, or the first meeting thereafter.
I'm
So if
pretty
they
sure
haven't,
we've done them.
oh, that's
I'll
fine.
check.
Thank you. Any other matters,
Not for the
Councillor Ranger?
next meeting, but just as a point of clarification for me, Liz, Chair. On the quotes, because we've had such a long time of the waiting for the quotes for those for the footpath, is it normal practice that we actually write to the 3 companies that are not being successful and say thank you for your quote, have a good day? Do we normally do that, and we don't bother doing anything at all?
No.
Only because they've been hanging around for ages to know what's going on since August.
Yeah, I mean, you could, out of courtesy, write back and say, at this time you were unsuccessful, perhaps.
I don't know what our policy is or whether we have a policy to do
No.
that, that was all. Okay.
By doing so, you say you're unsuccessful because you bidded to, or
Alright.
whatever. It might make them in the future think
Right,
twice,
okay,
who
okay,
knows,
okay.
but we don't.
Yeah, okay, no worries.
Okay. The date of the next Highways and General Purposes Committee meeting to be confirmed.
Yeah, schedule one out
Okay.
tonight.